So we've been doing a lot of CQB videos lately. Figured we'd go out onto the range now that it's a nice day outside and go over some of the drills I really like working on to complement the training we're doing with sims. So with that, let's get into today's video. Before we get into today's drills, today's video is sponsored by Sticky Targets. They sent us a whole kit of some of their OG targets, the head boxes, A-zones. Just makes life all the more easy because when we go out on the range and we're using the spray glue, somebody misplaces it, lose it, or it gets all glopped up, we can't even use it anymore. This just takes that pain and suffering out of the equation. These targets just simply peel off, throw it up on the target, and you're good to go. So big shout out to Sticky, thanks for sending these out. And with that, let's get into today's video. For our first drill, we're gonna cover the weapon manipulation techniques that we covered in our previous video, CQB debrief. Check out that playlist. We have all kinds of drills that you can work on. As far as weapon manipulation goes, we have several different carry positions and ready positions that we want to practice. So when I'm going over these drills, I'm doing it at rifle distance. This isn't necessarily CQB distance, but I'm trying to challenge myself to hit an A-zone hit from a low ready, from a high ready, from a high carry, from a low carry, and then we even have retention techniques underneath the armpit as well as over the shoulder. But primarily we're working from those ready positions and from those carry positions. This is several drills in one, but it's just gonna be a single shot on target. Working from low ready, high ready, all these different positions, tracking where my dot is landing and how quickly I can get this shot off is how I'm gonna measure success here. Not too worried about the speed necessarily, just wanna work on the efficiency, stock, getting that stock in my shoulder, good effective techniques to be able to control that recoil. Here we go. Nine, 8. Nine, 5. 9, 4. Pretty safe. May have thrown the first one slightly to the right edge, but otherwise staying accountable for that A-zone hit. High ready this time. Good, but a bad mount. 1, 3, 3, pretty slow for what I want. And I had that stock too high on my shoulder. I want that shoulder completely encompassing that stock so I can manage that recoil more effectively. A little bit better, slow, 135. 129. I want to be a little bit quicker on that, but again, that's going to be just from dry fire reps to work on that a little bit more. Low ready this time. One, 5, 7. 1, 3, 3. Didn't catch that one because of my suppressor. High ready this time, or high carry rather. One, 8, 0. 1, 5, 1. 1, 5, 5. Working through these, at speed is important. What's even more important is my ability to diagnose what I'm doing well, what I'm doing poorly. At home, this is an easy fix. If I'm working my low ready and I feel like I overdrive that dot and I'm coming back down, that's something I'm gonna focus on. Vision is focused on the A of the A box. Dot lands. High ready, same thing. In the shoulder, feels like a good mount. I can slow it down a little bit, but otherwise, if I have a poor mount with this rifle, I'm diagnosing that, which I had on that first round of the high ready drill, and so on and so forth. So practicing this at home is gonna do worlds of a difference for you when it comes to coming out to the range. Now, bear in mind, my level of confirmation on my sight is gonna be much less when I'm closer up to the target. Working from further distances like 20 and 25 yards at this point, I'm making sure that dot is confirmed onto that A-zone before I pull that trigger. Otherwise, any deviation I make to that is gonna throw it off. Drill number 2, we're gonna be covering bar hops. This is a movement drill. It's really easy when you just lay a stake down. Starting out, it's gonna be 4 rounds on the A box. On the presentation of the beep, 1, 2, 3, 4 as I land is the goal. This isn't necessarily something that's like scenario driven. This is just a useful skill. My ability to manage that recoil, maintain that dot on the A zone while I'm moving is really important. Why is this significant for CQB? Movement to allow room for a buddy is certainly the driving force behind this drill for me, but it's also my ability to get off the X. Now, yes, the argument from CQB distance is I need to move, and I need to move deliberately. We'll cover that in another drill here momentarily. But for now, the movement just to get out of the way or potentially to get to cover is what we're working here for this bar hop drill. So with the rifle, 4 rounds, A zone hits, that's what we're looking for. Let's get into it. Okay, 220, pretty controlled there. Let's speed it up. I'm gonna go right to left this time. Okay, 194. And 146. So you can see how we can speed things up as we start to base, as we start to cushion with our knees so that we minimize the movement on that dot. You see that I'm able to confidently shoot that gun a little bit quicker. Depending on the size of the target, depending on how far away you are, this is gonna dictate how fast we're shooting that. But if you start getting really comfortable with that movement, maintaining that dot on the target, staying target focused and being able to rip those rounds, that is going to be a skill set that is isolated in the movement. The beauty of the drill is that we're minimizing the movement of the dot as we're moving our feet, lower half of our body moving independently from our upper half. That's really vital in maintaining that muzzle discipline on the target, right? We want to make sure that we're staying target locked and we're able to be athletic while also maintaining that good target presentation. All right, let's talk about this drill. Decelerating for active shooter scenarios, rescue speed stuff, really important in order to decelerate our movement so we can break that shot off sooner. A lot of what we're doing from the holster work even, we decelerate towards the end so we can break that shot off sooner, is really imperative in order to maintain accuracy, level out that gun. When you make the decision to fire, we're hasty to that plant point, and then we're decelerating down in order to make that shot count. One of the most important drills that we can work on with the rifle is a holdover drill. I like to work from distance to really push, those rifle standards, but as far as shooting up close, like in a CQB setting, the holdover is imperative. It's part of our blue card standards for a reason. If I don't understand my holdover for my particular zero, and I try to take what we would consider a hostage rescue shot, that is going to be, I'm gonna simply miss, and it's gonna be a detriment to the operation. So I need to make sure that I'm aware of the holdover, my height over bore, where my dot is landing compared to where my barrel is and where the projectile is exiting. I need to make sure I understand that. So one of these drills that I like is just simple. I shoot for a head box and try to maintain that accuracy despite my point of aim being different from my point of impact. Eight one. 1 second flat, high ready. I can mix and match the drills. 119. 107. And 101. So I'm accountable for all those head box hits using those sticky targets. Really a big fan of those. But again, gotta understand my holdover. The only way I can really validate it is to come up to shorter distances, push the pace, see where my dot's landing. Am I really aware of where that holdover is. As long as my shots are hitting that, you know, small credit card size target on that head box, then I'm doing all right. All right, so a vector drill, 45-degree angle, about a 10-foot sprint plant, you know, working within the distances where we're gonna experience inside, let's say, a home, the depths that we're gonna be dealing with. This is a really good tool that we need to have and we need to work on. Just like the decelerator drill, whether that's from 20 yards to 10 like I did it or further, this drill is going to push you to decelerate, settle that dot, and now you're even more accountable because we're worrying about two things: holdover and making sure that we are hitting that head box. Again, hostage rescue style shot. We don't have the luxury of having a giant A-box upper thoracic dealing with that head box, so we gotta be even more accountable for it. These are just some of the drills that we can work on for, you know, complementing some of the CQB training that we do, bringing it to the range, and then, you know, really just demonstrating it in a live fire setting, validating what we're practicing, right? If I am not maintaining a good mount on that rifle, if I don't have a good support grip with that pistol, and I get kind of lazy with it because I'm shooting within 12 feet or closer in a CQB setting, then I really am deteriorating those skills and I'm missing a big chunk of what performance shooting is all about. Really the main point of what performance shooting is all about, holding yourself to a higher standard so that that other stuff becomes second nature, automatic, and ultimately just is easy when it comes down to game time, right? These are just some of the drills that I like working. There's plenty of others that we like as well, and I'm sure there's some that you enjoy. So if you guys have any recommendations on other drills that folks can do, make sure you leave a comment down below so that they can benefit from reading your comment. And if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know. Now that the weather's nicer, we're gonna be outdoors a lot more. We're gonna be working some more pistol stuff, fixing your grip, working on your rifle mount, and so many other videos. So I appreciate you staying this long. If you haven't already, subscribe. And with that, we'll see you on the next video.